Okay, well, we got some cleaning supplies here. What do we got here? Some can of air and some isopropyl alcohol, all right. And we got some Q-tips, okay, and chamois, and some little screwdrivers and spudgers and things like that, and some tweezers and box cutter if one were to need it, but I really don't think so because, well, there's a tiny one here. Today, we're gonna be cleaning up this guy. So there's only really one tool we'll need, and I had to order it from good old eBay. So, for the uninitiated, this is an Xbox 360 controller. It is one of the later model ones that have a rotating D-pad, cha-chink, so that you can have an independent D-pad, or if you're a fan of it, you can have the rolling disc. Having said that, some games play better like this, and some games play better like that. It also has, which I don't see many people talk about, different thumbsticks. It doesn't have the little bump at the top and the sides. Also, the stick's ever so slightly loose. Anyway, we're gonna clean all this up. But how did I, what do you mean, how did I get it? I got it $4.99 for Savers. That's how I got it. They had it in the furniture section? Sure, whatever. Oh, with TVs and computers, okay. Anyhow, this thing, as I found online, the cheapest that it sells for currently is $27.99. So buying it for $5 with no shipping make things pretty great, yeah? Cool. So we're gonna dig into this thing. The first thing I did when I picked it up at the place, without trying to freak out in front of everybody, is I opened this up because it felt heavy. Like there's a battery pack, and I opened it up and yeah, it's AA's. So no free battery pack that's rechargeable, but we got some AA's in here that added corrosion into the mix. I don't know if you can even see it at all. There's some on that. We will clean that up too. All the stickers are perfect. There's just some dirtiness to it, right? I haven't tested it yet because I didn't want to even go about testing it until we actually cleaned it up. Yes, it would seem logical to test it first to see if it's even worth cleaning, but it's still a learning experience because I just found out that you can buy these D-pads that transform and install them in regular, not Nintendo. Whew, I'm sorry, Microsoft, or Nintendo, whoever's more offended. No, I found that you can buy the transforming D-pads for a 360 controller, and there's a way to install them. I have some on the way. They say they won't be here for another month, so until then, that video has to wait. In the meantime, we're gonna clean this guy up that's already got that transforming D-pad. Dude, this is gross. This is a brown-ass battery. BRB. Trash time. All right, I'm back. So let me scoot this a little bit closer to me because I've kind of been hunching over this whole video. There we go. Everything's still in view, groovy. All right, so let's crack in. First of all, we're gonna just clean this with the good old soap and water and the sink upstairs. Same with the buttons we end up taking out. This faceplate needs to be cleaned as well. If it takes off on its own, great. If not, I'll just clean it with Mr. Chamois here. But let's just open this up. I've never opened up one of these before, but I have a feeling there's like an extra screw there, which is gonna ruin the sticker, but it is what it is. I'd rather this thing be clean from the inside out. I hope all the screws are the same length. Somehow I doubt that, but you never know. I'll get some more light over here. Screw number uno. Never ever take one of these apart. Nor put one back together for that matter, but you know, there's the internet by my side to help me. So I'm gonna do a little montage now to get the rest of these out. All right. Okay, and we're back. So now, this bloody thing should be able to come apart. It looks like the only cords that are really connecting it are the rumble motor cords. So I'm gonna pull the rumble motors out of their little spots here. Oh, actually the back plate comes off. Now I have a better chance of pulling these rumble motors out. There we go. Oh, and they can come right out too. Come on, buddy. Don't make me use force. Ooh, you can see some corrosion on the board here. Let's hope that means that this thing, I don't want to say corrosion, you see water damage on the board. My guess is that it stopped working shortly after that, because the outside looked fine, so maybe somebody accidentally spilled something on it. We're going to clean it up with isopropyl alcohol, because it'll, you know, evaporate any water that's on the board. All right, so these two guys can wait. They're not going to get cleaned. For those who haven't seen inside, looky there. There's some triggers. Cool. We got the rubber membranes. They look relatively decent. There's nothing sticky here, so I think it straight up was actual water. There's the shoulder buttons and the sync button. Oh, there we go. They all come right out. Wow, that is incredibly easy to take apart. So we're gonna clean all of these bad boys up, including, I mean, this has moving parts, so I don't want to get water in there. We're gonna scrub this guy with isopropyl alcohol on its own. But all these other components, we're going to wash and dry accordingly. So what we have left here is gonna get cleaned with isopropyl alcohol, and all the plastic bits I just took, including the battery holder, are coming to the bathroom with me. Let's go. All right, let's clean this up together. My parts are upstairs drying. I just got done cleaning them. You saw the whole thing. Now we're gonna isopropyl the hell out of this thing. If anybody's wondering why my videos suddenly look like they used to again, it's because of the camera that I bought. The SD card reader stopped reading the stuff. It throws me errors all the time, so it is what it is. I gotta get it repaired, but until then, I'll do this. Man, these like to come off. This is name brand Q-tip right here. And the crappy ones almost work better. Anyway, what I'm driving at here is, it's the holiday season, of course, so I don't have extra funds to put towards fixing my primary new camera that I got from Retro Wolf 88. Check out his videos, they're pretty fun. Wow, there's stuff all over this thing. I should have just like poured it and then wiped it away. I didn't think it was going to be like this. Every little solder point is trying to catch the cotton. One interesting thing is this solder joint right here is a whole ass ball. It's like an entire globe. Everything else comes to a point, but except for that one. That's fun. So it's like almost like it just went across the thing just once over. Maybe it just made it stop working. I don't know, but all I can do is try to clean this up here and see what results we get. Yeah, let's hit these battery coils too. I'm sure they're called something else, like a battery contact or something, but it's got acid on it, right? We don't want no battery acid. Scrape it away. I'm sure there's like an official fluid or cleaner or something that takes that off. But again, I'm broke. I'm trying to do this for as cheap as possible. Ideally the $5 I spent on it. Okay, it looks like there's like no more corrosion on this side that I can see in this light. Anyway, let me try to clean this port. I thought I'd use a whole bunch. Like I have a chat pad, but there's no really point in having those anymore. All right, so now this side, looks like whatever the fluid was came through to the other side of the board. Obviously this is the side where the buttons are, so it would have started here and went the other way. Let me clean these caps too. I forgot about that part, no big deal. I will just clean them with isopropyl alcohol right here and clean inside of this. Clean all the contacts as well. It's like they had the controller face up and then, oops-a-daisy, some liquid fell on the whole controller. I mean, that pops nicely, so why was the one thumbstick a little loose feeling? I don't see any reason that it should. Okay. I'm gonna get in here some isopropyl and hope it doesn't dry anything out. I don't really know if this is okay to clean a stick with. It's pretty funny. When you click it in, there's literally a tactile attack switch over here. Got some alcohol on the pad. I'll just use that in here. These are name brand. I do not like what I'm trying to put them through. Hit these tack switches as well. I like the fact that every screw is the same length in this thing. It makes it so much easier to repair or get into. Okay, well, I cleaned up every bit of corrosion I can see with my eyeballs. Maybe I should rotate it another direction and see if I see more. Different light always is a better idea. And even if it doesn't work on the first go through, I have no problem taking this apart again and giving it a second clean. It's inexpensive, sure, but to get one of these actually functional for $25, I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's hit up these tack switches on the top for the bumpers. Cool. Back here, the triggers, I don't want to say they're harder to clean, but I certainly don't want to take them apart just to clean them, because I don't really know how this goes back together, and God forbid, I'm not an engineer, so I would have no idea how to get them back together. I do know that they use like a kind of like magnet technology, right? Am I crazy here? Where like you push down and the magnets bridge the gap and they know that the trigger has been pressed. There's some more right there. I'm sure you're probably watching Homeland and you fucking saw it when I flipped it over and you're probably like screaming at the screen. Don't worry. You should always watch a video to the end to see if they actually say what you think they should say or do what you think they should do. You should never comment at any point in the video until you've watched the whole thing. Obviously when it dries, there's still some elements of it, so it's a good thing I'm looking and cleaning again. Let me just hit this with some to dry it out. Yeah, it's like on the backside we still have some residual. Let's grab it harder. Just a little isopropyl bath. Just sop it all up. Just to make sure I have it everywhere. Alright, let's see if we can dry this off now. Ooh. Got a little too crazy with it. I believe that is safe to have on electronics, so I'm not going to be concerned. Just do this side too a little bit. Let's get these battery contacts too, shall we? Stupid little solder points that are all pointy. Keep getting caught on my Q-tip, my cotton swab. And this isn't the only decently priced controller I found at a thrift store recently, like in last year or something. I found a 360 controller that's wired, so I'm guessing that presumably means PC, but or at least it was maybe a PC one that was bought in the first place. But anyway, it's been modded by Scuff, and it has like a custom color layout and added triggers. So I have used it on some PC games. I haven't tried it with the 360 to see if it does anything. I know they made 360 wired controllers, everybody. But they didn't make wireless 360 controllers for the PC, at least not in the beginning. If they ended up making them later on, I wasn't aware because I was already on to the next thing. Well, you've seen enough of this. We're going to cut to me. Actually, let's use this. Oh yeah, we got plenty extra on there. Clean this thumbstick. There's none of that crap where the plastic's rubbed off on the bottom of the stick either. You can tell these things, like all the textures on the top still, so. This thing is probably barely used, and then liquid got on it, and then the person's mom was super pissed. Because it got broken. All right, now we'll probably just go to a montage of me reassembling it, because that's about as good as I can get this to be. I'd say about a good 90% of the acid is off of this thing. All right. Okay, let's reassemble this. I'll let it finish drying. Everything feels the way that it should. I hope that this works. I mean, I still see some mild corrosion, but all I can do is put it together and see if it works. If it works, I'm not gonna stress too much over it. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna open this back up and really clean it with a toothbrush instead of one of these Q-tips. So let's reassemble these bad boy, and then we'll clean the outside. There's a little bit of, when I let it dry, I didn't think about it, but there's little water droplets on there, so I don't want to, you know, have it finished look this way. I'm gonna wipe it down, polish it up. Okay, so let's do a few things first. One, let me put these thumbsticks back on. Come on, Q-tip stuff. Cotton. Nice, okay. Put these on here, and we'll just do another time lapse, shall we? Okay, it's reassembled. Everything feels fine. These buttons feel really tight though. I guess I never really felt them. It feels like maybe they're a little shallow, especially the A button. Anyway, I'm gonna buff this right now, and then we're gonna try it out. This is one of those wet Q-tips. Didn't get these tiny little cracks here. Still kind of wet from where I spilled it, so I'll use those. I mean, the buttons come to exactly the place that they're supposed to come in terms of height, so I don't know why the A button feels a little bit tight, I would say. By the by, I really hate chrome. I don't like chrome colors. Like, I love the color red, and every time Microsoft would release anything red that was a controller, it was always chrome. Or some, on the Xbox One, some weird variation of red with something else. I did obviously get me the red controller that was red on red from GameStop for the Xbox One. That was a treat. Finally a treat. Alright, well that's as buffed as that can be and cleaned, and there's no more schmutz on it. I think that's just the way that it is. Oh, it feels okay. I think there's just something about these, the fact that you're gonna touch it and it's gonna look like crap all over again. All right, let's pop some batteries in it. Got some rechargeables. See, ooh, no response. Does that mean the batteries are bad? I'll try one more thing of batteries. Well, I'm sad because I put the batteries in and no response. Now obviously I can take my favorite regular 360 controller and swap this into that. So I guess I'll just do that. I'm kind of bummed that this didn't work out. I suppose I could have tested in the beginning, but at least I just learned how to disassemble an Xbox controller, Xbox 360 controller. I'll take the caps, I'll take that. I'll take the whole thing, since it's all new buttons, basically. Everything else about this is fine, unless somebody has in the recommendations something I should try. Hit me up.